welcome to our channel Civil Pros. This is Mainak, and today we'll be discussing some important points which a site engineer, civil site engineer can check while going to the site. So first of all, you have to understand the processes which involve in the making of a slab. So there are two parallel processes. You will see that the rod binding can go on for the beams as first and then the slabs. So the rod bending and binding will go on, and parallelly the shuttering can go on. So now typically during the rod binding, if you are a site engineer, you can instruct the foreman, or you can yourself check each individual rod sizes. So first of all, the first basic knowledge is you need to have an understanding of the drawings, and then as per the drawings and as per the lapping positions, you have to decide what are the lengths of the bar which you have to cut. And if you are new and if you don't understand, then you can also take the help of your seniors, and also the what is the plan which the foreman is working on. You can ask them, and I'll make another video in detail about how to cut rods using a practical example. But first thing is you need to check what are the rods which are being cut by the workers. And then comes the shuttering. So shuttering is also wide concept. Basically we use steel props, as you can see in this picture, and we also use bamboo when steel props are not available, and when in a project like in some projects where there is not much budget and steel props cannot be made available, then we use bamboo also. So the one thing which has to be made sure that you need to have strong support. Like in this kind of building, you can see that they have decided to go for the casting before BCC. So they have given a brick mortar for strong support, so that they can fix the props, these props or supports over it. And in some places you can see this is the bamboo also. So first of all, you need to see that any prop is not more than 2 feet distance. So basically 2 feet is the average. It's not, there is not any rule in that, but 2 feet is the maximum generally for safety purposes. If you keep less than 2 feet, 1 feet 6 inches or something, then it can be better. So maximum 2 feet space should be between the two props from the roof, like the distance from this prop to this prop, maximum 2 feet. And you have to see the next thing is this is the wooden buttons which have been installed here for the horizontal supports. And in some places you have your steel steel bracings, or steel cross pans where you have steel as the shuttering material. You have that also. So there are variations of it. You have to check it. Basic thing, most basic thing is that you need to have a strong support in all. There shouldn't be anything hanging, or there shouldn't be anything which is loose. It may lead to failure or lead to safety purpose. Another thing which many people make a mistake is that the shuttering for the beams, as you can see, where the prop is being supported. So this is the beam, your ply, and in this ply there is a button, and below the button this prop is supported. So where some places there is an error, and the particular steel prop is not below the button, it is directly on the ply or the steel sheet, whichever you are using. So it shouldn't be on the steel sheet or the ply which is used for the centering material of the slab or the beam. It should be below the button or any steel support which are being used for the horizontal supports. So that gives some stability. So you need to check this in the place of your shuttering, and then comes your reinforcement. So first what they do is they do the reinforcement of the beams. The beams are tied up like this, and then the reinforcement of the beams are binded. After the cut pieces are joined together, and after the first the main reinforcement and then the secondary reinforcement or the stirrups. So in this case you have to take care of our lapping zones. We'll talk about our lapping zones in a separate video, you have to see the lapping zones. Generally, the lapping zone at the top reinforcement is at the center. That is, if you divide a span, suppose this is the span from column to column distance, we divide it. It's generally into 3 parts. It is generally in the middle part. We divide it L by 3, so it will be in the middle zone. And in the bottom, it is in some places you will find at the column junction, or at a distance of 2d or L by 4 from the support. You leave a distance of L by 4 from the support or from the column, and after that you can provide the junction or the lapping. So this is the common rule. I'll discuss more about it, but first of all you need to be able to read the drawings, and then you need to decide in which zone lapping will be provided, and after that practically on site you can mark with the help of chalk in this ply, and then decide or check what the foreman is going to cut in the terms of rebar pieces. Sometimes in most places it is a major places of concern where you don't have this sort of control over your thing. So if you don't have control over your measurements, then it may lead to recutting of rebars. So as you can see in this site, the beam rebars have been fixed and the work is going on. So like that, first of all, the beam rebars, they are fixed, and you need to check, first of all, fix the or decide the distances along which the rods will be cut. And while deciding the distance, you have to add this LD, development length, which will go bottom for the top bar, and the the bottom bar, it will go up like this. So you need to add this as well. You need to add the lapping lengths, which is generally 50D. In the case of this side, it was 50D, 50 to diameter of the bar. For suppose 20 mm bar, it will be 1 meter. For 16 mm bar, it will be 800 mm. Like this, you need to check the lap length as well, which is provided. And the next thing you need to check after checking the rebars is, actually before checking the rebars, is your level. So you can fix a particular thread from this end and at this end, and then you can check with the help of the measuring tape the level or the the height from the the tape, so that you can see whether the slab is at single level or not. You can also use auto level or rotation for this purpose. And also another thing, you can also check the width of these beams. Suppose in this figure you can check the width of this beam and the depth of the beam also, according to the drawing you can check. So these are the checks which you can do in the case of when you will go for your checking of your slab when you are as a site engineer. So we'll come up with more videos, and if you like this content, make sure you like the video and also leave a comment on which topics or any topic related to civil engineering or site or software you want for the videos. Thank you.